Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We're also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the most famous person in bourbon if we remove 10 high-profile individuals. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Katie Proof, Kathy Cool, and Darren McCroy.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
She ruined our opening.
It was ruined.
Yeah, it's ruined.
It was
Hold
ruined.
on.
And you know what? Written perfectly. Steve didn't mess this up. I messed this.
Yeah. Usually you can blame me.
This was me.
That was on McNew there. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about the most famous person in bourbon. We're going to eliminate 10 that I think would be the obvious answers. So once you eliminate one of these, then it's like, okay, then this one. Well, we're going to try to eliminate 10 that we think are the most obvious, and then the discussion begins.
Okay.
But we'll get to that after the break, which will be fun. We'll see if maybe we all agree. Maybe we can come up with somebody that I missed, and they're like, oh, this is the person, and we're also like, yes, that's the most famous person in bourbon. We'll get to that after the break. For right now, though, Kathy said there's something she want to talk about. What is that, Kathy?
I was trying to learn more about things that weren't bourbon this week.
All right.
So I did a little dive into current science events. They are testing a gel on mice that keeps it from getting too drunk.
Okay.
Now, the ramifications are it doesn't get drunk, and it also maintains its organs' viability.
Okay.
So your experience with alcohol would be that you could drink it, and you have to take this gel cap or whatever at the right time.
Okay, take the gel cap, and you're good.
And then
no effects from the whiskey.
No effects. No hangover, no drunkenness, no damage to your organs.
Okay.
What's the point?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I feel like this could be good if you're at an event or a business thing that involves drinking, where you're like, yes, I need to have a drink in my hand. I need to act like I'm participating, but I can't be drunk, maybe. But otherwise, yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
I like having a buzz. I do like that feeling. So
Really?
And they've tested it so when the mice get to a point where they've got that buzz, it doesn't work.
It's
too late. Once
it's a point of no return. It there. You're like, oh, all right.
No, so like
you've ruined it.
Does it contain Adderall? Because that does that. You can drink more when you take that. Like, is that what it is? It's just a gel version of Adderall?
It's gel Adderall, yes. Is that what you were taking when you kept quitting the shows? You were like, oh, this has no impact on me? And just leave the show 15 minutes in? Yeah. That was fine. It was fine. We hardly noticed you were.
I mean, if you've already discovered the secret, then you're just a silly woman for not banking on it.
Yeah, no, I feel like that very much involves amphetamines in some way or another. But yes.
Okay.
So far, we're not fans.
No, I'm concerned that it'd be very, very unhealthy. I'm not.
All amphetamines are. It's okay.
Like, is it like protecting your, like, you're not going to get liver damage?
Right.
Well, that's what they say. And then 8 years later, you're watching TV and they're like, join this class action lawsuit against the gel that was supposed to block
exactly
alcohol.
What it's going to be, because you're like, I drank the whole bottle in 2 hours and I didn't get drunk and my liver is fine. And then you have like liver cancer 2 days later. Yeah, they're going to have some problems.
There's going to be problems.
So right now, the gel is a combination of iron atoms and the milk protein.
Oh, God.
Beta-lactoglobulin.
Oh, I don't like the word globulin.
When it encounters alcohol in the digestive system, the combination...
The globulin's moist, by the way.
It's very moist. This combo mimics the behavior of an enzyme that converts ethanol into acetate.
Acetate. Oh,
acetate,
we all like acetate.
Like, isn't acetate
fingernail polish?
Yeah, like I don't.
No, that's acetone.
Remover. Acetate.
That's acetone.
I think it's acetate.
Starts with the same thing.
I think it's acetate.
Acetate is like that thin, clear paper stuff.
It's paper.
Oh. I think it's
it's paper. I write on it.
I think it's something that builds up in your body.
So what is this, like rock paper scissors, and you're just like
it produces the byproduct of acetaldehyde.
Acetone. You're drinking nail polish.
Acetaldehyde.
Like so for like formaldehyde.
It's paper that turns into acetaldehyde. It makes sense now. That's what I was thinking initially. And
I got this off of .org. So it's a real article, according to
.org. .org is sourced themselves.
I think it was.
Yeah.
So Wyatt said it had to come from an org.
Yeah.
My thing against this is it's an interesting experiment, but it's just that. If you take everything that we're testing on mice right now, you will have a list of so many absurd things. I don't even think this one is close enough to being ready to actually sell, right?
Also, why are we still testing on animals? Why can't we make AI be a thing or something? Why are we?
Because mice deserve it. They're the most disgusting animals. They sleep in their own piss. Screw them mice. They can get to all the drugs. They can test all of them as far as I'm concerned. I can't stand them.
Disgusting.
Snakes are fine. They help the environment. The fucking mice they're the disease carriers. They deserve this. Look what they did to us. The bubonic plague. God damn these vermin.
Humans. Like, we could take a shitty human and put anything in them.
No, stop it.
Little furry creatures.
No matter how shitty we think a human is.
Interesting penal code idea. So, like, with Department of Corrections, you have to
it's been done.
Well, I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
So, if they could use this technology that they're trying on the mice as a way to, like, when you get to that point where you're at the buzz you want to be at, but then also you realize there's still more alcohol in my stomach that's still going to process, and I don't want that. I want that
it's going to process.
Gone, but I don't want to make myself sick, etc. Something that then you could take that just neutralizes everything that's still in your stomach because you don't want to process. You're done. I've hit what I want to neutralizer. That would be the product to make.
Yeah.
Another point.
And then you package them cute, like a cute little pink vitamin. So you're like, it's trendy now. So like I got drunk enough, and now I'm gonna take this cute little gummy.
It has to be cute.
And then
we'll make it look like a little shot. It's like your anti-alcohol shot, like airplane bottle size.
We got the marketing on this already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
College campuses would be a mess though, because people would be abusing it. You can't say that this would not have any side effects. It might not have any alcohol side effects, but this thing will have side effects.
And so every college kid it's Jeff Goldblum all of a sudden. Yeah. Nature finds a way. Nature finds a way.
Because like your
liver fuck you over.
To process all those enzymes, and like whether you're hungover or not, it's still got to go somewhere. So if it's something that just says like, hey, like
endorsed by Dick is in
your pooping paper.
I don't know. I just don't think it's going to work the way they think it is.
Hi, I'm Dick Kazinya, and I endorse this product.
I'm just really surprised that everybody's saying that they like the feeling more than they like the taste.
I do like the taste. I just think it's a dumb experiment.
But I can
No
enjoy
one said that,
the,
did they?
I can enjoy the taste.
The majority of the people wanted the feeling over the taste.
No, so there are times
But I
where
want both. I want both.
I
Right.
should not have gotten that drunk. It could come in handy at times where I'm
But
like,
then it would be too late. They're saying at that point.
Yeah,
that's
they're
the thing,
saying
you
once
change
it's
the
in your
product.
blood-
But no,
Bloodstream,
you're
you're
changing
done.
the rules. Yes. Yeah, the rules are you either take it or you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
You
That's the
it's beforehand.
Right. It's
Yeah.
beforehand.
Proactive.
I can be like, hey, I gotta hold my shit together tonight. I'm gonna take it
When
before
have you
I
ever
go.
held your shit together?
That's why she needs the pill, Steve.
Like,
Right.
that's exactly the point. I should get it before I go to things.
I guess it would be nice if, like, you want to go on a distillery tour, but you're the designated driver, that you could do this and you could taste it on the distillery tour, but then still be 100% sober to drive.
Ooh, so
That's
yeah.
another thing that's scary
They
though.
could
Like
barrel picks. They could barrel picks.
Yeah.
Barrel picks. Yeah.
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 A day out at Demetrius's, you probably need one of those.
Watching
true.
having him make pizza is an interesting experience, though. You wouldn't want to miss that.
Yeah. There you go. KK sleeping on the parking lot. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
It
Especially
happens.
since his,
I'm not the only
That-
one that had to nap before they went home that day.
Really?
Yep.
There's more people than you, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
I mean, new guy.
yeah, it was the
beforehand.
three other people she saw when she looked in the mirror.
Yeah, new guy got there and just took a nap one time. We
He was
invited him to come
banking
in.
it for later.
We
He was
invited him to come in,
pre-napping.
and he's like, "No, I think I'll just sleep outside here. I'll just wait in my car." quietly."
Yeah, he
Pre-nap.
pre-napped.
Yeah,
you know,
he pre-napped. Yeah.
No, but I will admit I don't remember a lot of that day, and I had to be helped to the car.
so
Whereas the other
I-
person that I talked to who had to take a nap after the event walked themselves to the car.
They walked themselves. So
Took an hour and a half nap, woke up and said, "Gee, I better go home now."
I
Okay.
would prefer something that like kept your memories when you black out. Because there are some times where they were like you were walking and talking and being a whole human where I'm like, I was not there for that.
You
So
black
just like
out
a
that
memory
often
saver?
that would be helpful to
Physically
you?
I was, but I was not there because I had like blacked out, had no idea. I would like something that like replays those for me. I
It's
mean,
like a memory saver thing. That's not a bad idea.
It's called
Yeah,
a camera. Just record everything.
no, that would be worse. I don't want to watch it. I want to remember.
And then it can get out on the internet. And
yes,
that's
I don't
true.
want it
That's
recorded.
true.
I want my brain to know that it
it's
happened.
recorded. It's on the internet.
There's so many times where I'm
Just-
like, no,
Don't black out.
oh, it
Easy to
just
say to them.
plans to black out. It just
right.
happened.
Yeah. All right. On that note, guess what, gang? It's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? I'll go first. Wallersheim. Yeah, it's true. I got some Wallersheim here. Swine on the set. Decent.
What? I didn't hear. I heard squeak and nothing else.
I heard
you
squeak
heard
and
wrong.
bass.
You heard wrong. There was bass.
Squeak and bass.
There was
I
bass.
never hear wrong.
Yeah, you did. Makes us question everything. All right, Darren, you want to
Darren
go?
wants to go next.
I guess.
I got some Art of the Spirits, Easy Elegance Rye.
Okay. Okay, that's a lead right there. But just again, bass. Katie didn't hear it though because she doesn't hear bass apparently. That's
I
fine.
heard that one more than I heard yours.
It was there. As was
wasn't-
mine.
It wasn't that impressive, but I heard it.
Okay. All right, well, go ahead. Let's see what you got.
No, this is gonna suck. It's gonna be like a nothingness for me.
It's a new
I
bottle.
have-
It looks like
I have Peerless. This is the Choco Latte.
Chocolate. Okay, I like that. It's a good name. Okay.
Oh.
There you go. There's the lead.
I think that's first.
There's a lead. What if I couldn't hear it? I must have that disease where that was the pitch I can't hear by chance.
Well,
You know,
I think
drinking.
Kathy's ooh and then laughing would override your I couldn't.
Oh,
hear.
I could be like, oh, you're in cahoots together. She was just doing that. Yeah.
We're
And-
Hooters.
All right. Katie has the lead. All right. Kathy's next though.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna open a brand new bottle of J. Henry.
J. Henry. Oh, there we go. We got a new lead.
was
I was
Casey
gonna say, that was
takes over the
very
lead.
crisp.
Keiki takes over the lead. Keiki has the lead. All right. So next up is McNew.
I think she's going to keep it because I have some Bond and Lillard.
No, nothing there. Nothing
At
there.
least I heard hers.
Cakey wins. Cheers.
Go, Cakey.
Ding.
That's like my eye makeup in the morning the next day.
It is cake. I've been there.
All right,
there too.
we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, it's going to be time to determine the most famous person in bourbon. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com.
This is Denny Kennard, and my altar drinking Edo is Freddie Miller. I'll drink to that.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about the most famous person in bourbon if we take away a few.
Yes, we are. So we're removing 10 people. So these 10 people are not eligible. These are because they're super famous. They're super famous. Number one, Jimmy Russell. Jimmy Russell. Yeah. I mean, who's the most famous person in bourbon? It's Jimmy Russell, by the way.
Yeah, it is. That is the answer.
Yeah. He's the answer. But then we're going to remove all other people that are kind of close behind. So Eddie Russell, his son, that's a natural. Fred No, Freddie Johnson, Jim Rutledge, Jackie Zykan, Fred Minnick, Freddie No, Bill Samuels Jr., and Julian Van Winkle III. Julian Van Winkle III, the Pappy Van Winkle guy.
So only the third, though, not the entire
Only
line.
the third.
I thought of exactly 10 names, and they were about those, Steve.
Yeah.
So,
we're talking about living here, so you can't be like, well, the most famous person, it's got to be a living person.
Oh, it has to be a living. Oh, I missed that. Was that
Living.
in the show notes? I think you're making
Living.
stuff up.
It wasn't
the
the
list
show
is all
notes.
people that are living, so yes.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's the most. Who do we think is the most? McNew's gone, by the way. The show wasn't about.
The title is the most famous person in
While
bourbon.
she's gone, it's McNew.
Okay. It's McNew. See, she comes back right away. Then she's like, "Oh,
Until she
oh my God,
it's
the show got interesting."
Look, it summoned her.
Living.
Okay. So we want to talk about who do we think is. You remove those 10 individuals of the people that are left. Who's the most famous person in bourbon?
I do have an idea.
Okay.
For a minute, my brain was like, "Did we do our small talk yet? Can I answer yet?"
Well, what is it?
Okay, so my answer would be Fawn Weaver.
Fawn
Yeah.
Weaver.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's
I
great.
think especially here recently, her reach has been exponentially expanding. I think.
Yeah.
She has her book coming out next month.
Touring around the United States. That doesn't hurt, right?
I think a little bit. She's still expanding. She has not reached her peak or anywhere near it, but
Okay.
I think she's become quite huge.
Okay.
I think that's a great one.
So I'm going to argue that Chris Stapleton is the most famous person in whiskey because he has a whiskey brand.
That's fair.
No.
But since that's probably not going to be accepted because we don't talk about celebrity whiskey on the show, I'm going with Chris
But
Fletcher.
He is as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. So
Chris Fletcher. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack.
I mean, he
Daniels.
is the
Really?
master distiller of the biggest distillery in the United States.
Okay.
True.
That's true.
Hmm.
do
Who
we
else?
think his is tied only to being master distiller right now? Like, do we think how much if he would change companies he's with or whatever, how do we think that would just further expand his celebrity status though?
Yes.
Or would it hurt it and he'd have to kind of rebuild?
So if Eddie Russell were to change companies all of a sudden, that would make him less famous?
No.
No.
It wouldn't.
Yeah.
No,
That's a silly
Well
point.
played,
Next.
Darren. Well played.
I would feel bad for his new company because they would be like, "This is not Wild Turkey. What is he doing?"
Yeah.
It would be a disservice to the new company. I think I'm going to throw Maggie Kimbrell in there. If you read any whiskey literature, Maggie Kimbrell and/or Mike Beach, you got to throw them both in there.
Well, they're both writers. They're both well known.
Yeah.
What about the Shapiras?
Oh,
Ooh.
that's good.
That's
I
a
like
good
that.
one. Everyone should know that name if you're into
They
bourbon
should.
at all.
They should.
I like that answer.
Man, it's just tough because I'm trying to think. Some of these transcend us, the people that are super bourbon fans. I'm trying to come up with. Is there anybody
How
else
young?
that?
Oh,
Well, he's
He's
dead.
dead.
He's dead.
so we're
Yeah. So who
So
is there?
if I weren't into bourbon, what's a name I would recognize?
Yeah, that gets tough. I
Hmm.
don't know if there's anybody.
Self in that headspace.
Maybe could Dan Garrison of Garrison
Yeah.
Brothers. I mean, he gets national media coverage for what
I
is
think you have to be in bourbon to know about him.
Mhm.
I'm going to argue that you probably have to be in bourbon to know about any of them. When I was not
Well,
in bourbon,
yeah.
I didn't know who Eddie Russell
true.
or
But
Jimmy
I mean,
Russell were.
yeah, maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
Their name's on a bottle, though.
names on a bottle. I mean, yeah, you can be.
Yeah.
And Fred Minnick's on the Today Show a lot. I mean, that's a name that, again, who's watching are probably bourbon fans, but that exposes you to a lot of people. He writes for Forbes magazine, so people who aren't necessarily into bourbon but are into finance and investing,
He
they
gets
get
a fine
exposed to.
price.
Yeah, so I do think some transcend, and
But
I don't know if anybody.
If you're not into perfume or bourbon, you probably don't know Jackie either.
She's on the list.
She's on the list. Yeah.
I know, but you wouldn't realize who she is. I'm trying to think. Yeah, who transcends that? I don't know. Chef Edward Lee, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is it Matthew McConaughey?
You could. Yeah, honestly,
But he's not affiliated with anybody anymore. He's not in the bourbon industry. Yeah,
was.
he was for a while.
Okay. So actually, on that round, Ian Salmaholder, Ian.
Yeah,
But do they know him for the bourbon?
no,
No, but
no.
So there's a guy, I'm trying to think of his name. I can't think of it. We did a show about how much Steve doesn't like this guy. He released a celebrity bourbon.
Jim Gaffigan. Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan.
I don't like
there
Jim
we go.
Gaffigan. Yeah.
God. Okay, so I'm with Steve. He is not fucking funny. I hate.
No,
all of
he's
his-
not funny.
No.
He's not
How
funny.
does this man get specials? He's not funny. They're all very insufferable. But
Yeah.
he apparently has fans somewhere.
Right. I mean, you take those 10 out, and I don't know that there's anybody else. I think it's anybody that transcends bourbon. I mean, there's famous people within the bourbon community for sure,
Right.
but bourbon is definitely pretty
Wait,
self-contained.
I have the best one. It is Bill Murray. He does not. He should have a celebrity bourbon. He does not. but he is a bourbon drinker, and he is one of the most famous people in the world. Bill Murray should be.
Right. If we just count bourbon drinkers, he's not in the bourbon industry.
Yeah, he's not in the bourbon industry. I think that was the whole part of the question.
I mean, maybe Chris Morris, former master distiller of Brown-Forman, only because he gets interviews and things like that on the coverage of the Kentucky Derby. I mean, that exposes you to people who aren't necessarily into bourbon. It brings you into the sports world. Again, I'm not saying he's super famous. I'm not saying you can go to your grandma and say, you know who he is, but he does extend out beyond just the bourbon world. Maybe him. I don't know.
So I have a follow-up question when we're ready for it, just to throw that out there.
We're ready. What do you got?
So if we were to say the person cannot live, work, or be associated with Kentucky or Tennessee, who does this person become?
Ooh.
So they can't be Kentucky or Tennessee?
Yep.
Steve Akeley.
It's Steve, Missouri.
Then it's me. I'm the next in line.
It's Steve.
I'm not sure who would.
Todd Leopold.
I was going to say Todd Leopold.
Todd Leopold's a good one.
I don't know if that's just because we're all so hyper fixated on everything he does that he seems like the biggest celebrity, but
he should be the biggest celebrity.
He should.
That guy's a genius at distilling. And he does things that are unique outside the box for sure. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to make him for that. But unfortunately, I don't think he really wants the fame or anything. I think he just wants to make whiskey.
Yeah.
So he doesn't seek that kind of stuff out. So a lot of being famous is self-promotion and the desire to be in the spotlight. And I don't think he has a desire to be in the spotlight. I think if it can help him promote his brand and, sell the whiskey, he does the things he needs to do to do that. But I don't think he's a guy who actively seeks that stuff out, unlike some people, But it's interesting. But he certainly should be up there.
Yeah.
Anybody
So do you think that when he isn't doing this anymore, that the brand can sustain itself at the level that it is?
I don't know. Todd is like my age, he has younger kids. So he got a later start with kids. And I think Todd will want to stick around until his kids decide if they're into whiskey or not. And I think a lot of the future of what we know as Leopold Brothers today is going to be in his kids, who are, I guess, early teenagers. They still got a long time to go till they would take over the reins. And he's very much a family guy. I mean, that's how he spends his off hours. He doesn't want to travel the country and promote his brand and stuff like that. He wants to be at home with his kids. So, but if they're into it, possibly. But if not, maybe that brand is just, the generation of Todd and his brother Scott. That's it. I don't know.
So I just thought of the answer for the whole question.
The whole question.
Steve's been able to get Eddie Russell and Jimmy Russell on his podcast before. He's been able to get the nose. He has been able to get all those people. So they're obviously not that famous. There is one person that he has wanted most of his career to interview, and he has never gotten an interview with her. I think Nancy the Nose Fraley.
I can't ever get Nancy on. I have messages going back over 7 years trying to track her down.
Where I thought Darren was going with this, with mentioning Wild Turkey, was Joanne Street. She is a great ambassador for Wild Turkey. She's fantastic. She's kind of like blazing her own trail. I think Joanne Street could be on this list.
She could potentially be. She's very young and has a long career in front of her, so I don't think she's there yet. But she could be on that trajectory, and some of that depends on
what. Her name was Joanne Russell. I think she'd already be there. It's not her fault. She has her father's last name instead of her mom's.
That could be. Anybody else that is?
And then someone back in the state of Kentucky, we're going back in now, is Stephen Fonte.
Yes, Fonte.
As being the voice for Yellowstone, he has a lot of people that know him.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's one that we'd be doing a disservice if we didn't mention him.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he is the ambassador of ambassadors. Give that man a sash and a scepter. Like, that is Stephen Fonte.
Yeah, he's
I was talking to someone recently and I was telling them how I was at Yellowstone in the last few weeks, and I felt really excited to be there on a day that Stephen Beam and Stephen Fonte were sitting on the patio, and I got to sit and have a chat and have them sign bottles. And they were like, "Oh my God, Stephen Fonte? Stephen Fonte?" And I'm like, no. Stephen Beam, the distiller. I got to sit and talk with the distiller and like, "Oh my God, but Stephen Fonte?" And I love him. I love him.
That is bucket list level sitting there. Like that is a group
Like,
you want to sit with.
That man could be like, I saw a bee yesterday, and he would make that the most fascinating story I ever.
Yes.
Stephen Fonte.
Yeah.
That's it. Stephen Fonte.
Yeah. He commands a room. He's got one of those presents that when he's talking, people are listening for sure. Yeah. Yeah. He's good at what he does. There's no doubt about it. And the funny thing is, he's not that, his personality isn't that way. That's him switching that switch on once he's in Fonte mode. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. So I don't know. I don't know. There's potential here for someone just to get in and become the star of bourbon outside of these 10. And so we'll see. Nobody really does those sort of things. I mean, Trey Zollard actually does a little bit of that kind of stuff. Gets interviewed by GQ magazine and stuff like that.
I had his name on my list, but
he's definitely one
I didn't think anybody would know him outside of bourbon.
He extends outside the bounds of bourbon, I think, and I think that's one of the important parameters here because, again, for us as super bourbon fans, gosh, that list of famous people in bourbon can be in the hundreds, I would think. I mean, we didn't talk about Bernie Lubbers and all these people, but. This idea
Richard
of extending
Paul
boundaries.
Bronner. Like we know Bronner.
Bronner,
absolutely should be on this list. But like, if you didn't know bourbon or maybe not. But
Jason Fruits, like no one outside of bourbon knows him at all. But anyone that should know anything about bourbon should know Jason Fruits.
No, I also think he prefers it that way. Like he was supposed to have. Still in his little family and be happy, but
Jason Fruits has a good life. There's no doubt about it. Fruits is doing just fine. Yeah, he's doing just fine. So there you go. Like I said, I think there's opportunities if someone you'd just like to see someone be the go-to person when they're doing a cooking show. They want to bring in somebody from the world of bourbon. It's like always like the same person. That sort of personality.
What about your friend Chef Edward Lee?
I'd say he's probably as close as we have to extending beyond that. And he is definitely a bourbon person, though. He's almost, I guess you could say, via his writing, because his chef collaboration got discontinued, by the way. That shouldn't be discontinued. They should still be making that. But, I think because everyone took the good Boo Rye names and Burr Rye and all that, I think they got shut out. They just called it, chef's collaboration. They didn't copyright the Boo Rye thing or trademark it or whatever they needed to do. And, now those are gone. So they're like, we just got to get rid of that product. So there you go. Ed Lee, though, he's cool. Ed Lee is an awesome guy and definitely loves the world of bourbon, for sure. Maybe he's the guy. Maybe he's the answer. I do like Ed Lee. Well, no. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Darren, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me 5 days a week at the ABV Tasting Bar. Also on Instagram at the Bourbon Adventures.
What if someone's trying to look us up and they're like, I can't find the tasting bar? Yeah.
Where is this tasting bar we've not found?
The tasting bar, yeah. So, Kathy, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram at KK's Cast Strength and sitting sometimes at the ABV Barrel Shop's Tasting Bar.
There you go. Katie.
You can find me visiting said ABV Barrel Shop Tasting Bar once a quarter and also over on Instagram at Katie Proof.
All right. McNew.
I'm sometimes at the bar 2 or 3 times a year, but also on Instagram at McNew ABV.
Or sometimes the sidewalk outside the ABV Barrel Shop.
Sometimes I'd be looking
without shoes on.
Yeah. For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. Check that one out. Everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more. abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. The ABV Barrel Shop, we talked about it a bunch. We always have events going on. We're getting new customers, too, which is pretty cool. You should be one of them. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I would like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. Friday, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Barrel.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.